Hello and welcome everybody to NTF Gaming's Top 10 Games of 2017. In my second annual Game of the Year list, I will run down what my 10 favorite games, with the only stipulation being that the game has to have been released this calendar year and not in early access. It's been quite the year for video games, with the launch of the Xbox X and the Nintendo Switch coming out and being a huge success. Old franchises being reborn and better than they've ever been, while others like Mass Effect and Need for Speed have let us down. Older games like Dying Light, Warframe, and Path of Exile getting incredible updates that keep them fresh and exciting for fans old and new alike. PUBG and Fortnite providing the biggest step forward in the shooter genre since Modern Warfare hit, and the return of incredible Japanese developers coming back into the forefront of this generation by asserting themselves with some of the all-time classic games this year. Before my top 10, I want to get one honorable mention out of the way. Nier Automata is the one game in 2017 I wish I really got to play. Having only played the demo and hearing about how incredible the plot and the soundtrack and the multiple playthroughs are, I'll definitely get to it in 2018. I hope to report back once I'm able to play it for myself. Okay, on to the list. Number 10, PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds. After initially watching footage of the game in March and dismissing it as another Battle Royale early access game, I can't believe it's made my top 10. I'm normally staunchly against playing early access games, and after receiving not just one, but 2 gift copies, I finally begrudgingly sat and played it, and then quickly watched 67 hours vanish in the span of a week and a half to its incredibly tense and extremely different gameplay. After quickly uninstalling and deciding to hold off until it was actually released, it turns out it's still pretty damn fun. Whether you're playing solo, duo, or in squads, they all provide very different but equally compelling gameplay scenarios, and it's a blast with friends. Never has 40 minutes of jogging, hoarding, and being lost only to get shot because somebody had an 8x scope 14 miles away been so satisfying. Also, look at these frying pans.
こいつはおごりや。たーんともいい。
Number 9, Yakuza Zero. Sega made a lot of Yakuza fans happy this year by announcing that Zero and Kiwami would be coming to the West on PS4. They made sure to have the beginnings of this great series in a modern format to get everybody in the West ready for number 6 in 2018. Yakuza Zero is a prequel to the long and storied Yakuza franchise starring Kiryu and Mojima in 2 very different but very intense stories. It maintains the series' long-running style, action, and drama, and in many ways, all 3 of those aspects are at its best in Yakuza Zero. Whether it's failing at the batting cages, doing some karaoke, or beating up hobos in the back alleys of Tokyo, it's always fun to play, and the moments of camp and over-the-top set of characters provide a nice change of pace for how grim and serious the actual plot is. The game largely came over untouched, featuring all the nuances that make the game feel very Japanese. I'm so happy that Sega brought it over, and I can't wait for 6 in 2018.
However we got here, it wasn't us who initiated the trip.
Find out who's sending that signal.
Roger that, Captain.
Number 8, Halo Wars 2. It seemed like Halo Wars would go on to be remembered as a neat little experiment for the Halo franchise. After remaining stagnant, the much-loved but rarely discussed Halo Wars finally got its sequel. This time developed by Creative Assembly, Halo Wars 2 brings back the original's base building, tight control, incredible art design, and gameplay for the Xbox and PC players to enjoy. The best campaign and story in a Halo game since Reach, and incredible cutscenes created by Blur Studios. The game received a lot of big updates throughout the year and now supports crossplay between both platforms, If you're a fan of Halo, RTSs, or just want a fun comm stomp, you can't go wrong with Halo Wars 2. Number 7, Sniper Elite 4. The Sniper Elite series has always been around in one shape or another, it seems. Each new entry in Rebellion's long-running franchise has always improved, but didn't really hit the mainstream until Sniper Elite 3. With Sniper Elite 4, they have pushed through its B-game history and delivered a great, fantastic title. Gigantic open-ended levels sprawl and invite players of all styles to be creative and find their optimal playstyle. A long campaign with great co-op, a lot of variety of weapons and environments, mask sometimes cheesy dialogue, and a forgettable villain to create a fun and entertaining story. Survival modes, PvP, spotter sniper co-op, and a ton of unlockables elevate it past just being a great sniping game. It's easily one of the year's best games, period. Also, super long X-ray kills will never stop being the most fun thing to do in a video game this year. Number 6, Mario Odyssey. Nintendo is on fire. With 3 games in my top 10 in a very short year for the Nintendo Switch, like Breath of the Wild, Nintendo has taken the Mario formula and turned it on its head. No pun intended. This time, however, the evolution is in the design of the world and its progression more so than the core gameplay of Mario himself. The main change this time is Cappy, a sentient hat that allows Mario to go around possessing different objects, people, and creatures to tackle very dense and huge open-ended worlds, chasing moons instead of the familiar stars or shines. The open-ended approach allows for a ton of depth, exploration, and fun. No matter if you're a more casual gamer or somebody who lives to the edge of your seat, pixel-perfect platforming that Mario games are known for, tons of replayability, secrets, fun co-op, make this a great game and easily one of the best and one of the biggest franchises in gaming. Number 5, Injustice 2. After a year of hype, reveals, reactions, and more, Injustice 2 arrived and absolutely delivered. Once again, NRS has surpassed all expectations with their newest title. It has an excellent story mode, easily surpassing DC's actual cinematic efforts, fantastic single-player content, a superb offering with top-notch netcode. This is the most complete package they have put out to date, not just in terms of fighters, but in terms of all games, period. Add in stunning visuals, a deep roster, intricate mechanics with an insanely deep leveling and gear system, and you have the makings of a modern-day fighting game classic. Throughout the year, they have been constantly updating the game with awesome characters, gear, shaders, balance changes that somehow don't make the fan base upset like they have in their past games. More characters are still coming, I'm talking about you, Ninja Turtles, and that will keep the game fresh well into 2018. A must-buy for any fighting game fan, casual or hardcore. Assassin's Creed Origins comes in at number 4, and Ubisoft has finally restored Assassin's Creed to its former shine. After years of missteps and a downward trend in their venerable open-world franchise, Ubisoft took some time to really change and adjust the very core of Assassin's Creed. Featuring a rich open world set during Ptolemy's reign in ancient Egypt, you play as Bayek, a Magi, a sheriff essentially, going around and doling out justice as a larger plot featuring Cleopatra and Caesar starts to unfold. The culture shift allows for a fundamental game design shift. Gone are the standard open world conceits of climb tower, discover side quest, and counter-heavy Batman-style combat. Instead, they opt for a much more Witcher and Skyrim-inspired exploration system, and a combat engine that is much more Dark Souls and For Honor than Batman. These changes, combined with a great lead character, a much snappier pace, and meaningful deep side content, add so much to the series, and that's what it's been missing since Ezio donned the robes of an assassin. Fantastic visuals and audio design complement all the action, with all the landmarks and gold cover statues you expect from this moment in history. Origin does what it should, and starting from the beginning in terms of the story and taking this moment to change up how the core franchise should play going forward. Here we go. Here we go. Oh, whoa, 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 whoa. Look, guy swinging. He got combo.
Watch out!
Oh, what the parry! What the parry! Number 3, Neo. The much delayed Neo from Koei Tecmo has had a turbulent history to say the least. Originally announced for the PS3 being developed by Omega Force, Neo has shifted and changed forms multiple times. Team Ninja was eventually brought in to tackle the project in a new direction, and tackle it they did. Team Ninja uses Neo as a return to character action, influenced by other great Japanese franchises such as Otogi, Onimusha, and the Soul series, mixing all of those styles with the Stranger in a Strangeland tale of yokai, samurai, and the warring state era of Japan. Team Ninja weaves the fantastical with the historical with ease and delivers a top-notch action-adventure experience. This year was full of so many moments where the future of video games can look shaky, with terrible DLC, predatory microtransaction practices, and much more finding their way into so many major games. Neo was a revelation. It harkened back to the older days where a game was a game, full and complete with hours and hours of gameplay to get lost in without having a loot box thrown in your face every 5 minutes. The DLC they released this year was also incredible, long, fully featured, and adding significant gameplay balance, storylines, modes, weapons, and much more to keep the variety fresh and exciting all throughout the year. Neo isn't just a great game, it's one of the big games that there is a flag in the ground for the Japanese industry that launched this year and represents a sea change of this generation. I'm glad to have great Japanese games back, and as gamers we are all the better for it.
Together with our Divine Father, the Architect. They called that paradise Elysium.
Number 2, Xenoblade Chronicles 2. Xenoblade Chronicles 2 is so damn great. From its bright and colorful characters and world, fantastic and deep combat system, and one of the greatest soundtracks ever. Xenoblade 2 might give the wrong vibe with how waifu intensive the game can present almost every single female, but the over-the-top anime look and sometimes odd-looking character designs are acknowledged and talked about in-game, and most of these issues are remedied during the story's unfolding. Huge worlds, engrossing storyline, a compelling group of characters all combine to keep me playing my Switch non-stop. Every time the story seems like it may drag, a huge revelation or two hooks me right back in and keeps me wanting to talk through the story, only to be sidetracked by exploring and wanting the experience to everything RS has to offer. Okay, I'm sorry. I need to stop ranting. Just saying things about this game is making me want to power it back on and play some more. It's a great entry in a series and a fantastic starting point for newcomers. Please don't let the looks and the costume design let you miss out on an all-time classic RPG. for the Switch.
Everyone, let's go!
Follow my rainbow! And with all of that being said, my number one game of 2017 is The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. Any other year, Xenoblade 2 could be my game of the year. Any other year, Assassin's Creed or Neo would take it hands down. Every 10 years or so, it seems like we get one of these games. A game that launches with the system and dares every other game to follow to compete with it. A game that doesn't just set the bar, it rips it down and throws it like a javelin into the heart of the game industry. The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild is almost a genre of its own. It's an adventure game, it's an RPG, it's an open world survival game, it's a puzzle game. It's a game that uses Link, Zelda, and Hyrule as the vehicle to drive open world games into a new generation. It doesn't do the best in any one field. The combat is functional, but never great. The controls could be much better. It looks fine, but it isn't the best looking game by a mile. The survival aspects aren't even on the level of most of the junk on Steam Early Access. The old cliche of the sum is greater than its parts absolutely holds true with Breath of the Wild. The sense of freedom, danger, adventure, all come together with its very in-depth and layered mechanics to create a new kind of Zelda experience. One without limits, one that rewards player freedom and curiosity. The play it out, see that mountain, you can climb it style of game design is realized here like in no other open world game ever. Incredible sight lines, flexibility with your glider and tools, and nobody there to tell you how to play, solve the puzzles, or where to go was extremely liberating. Look at any social media. The stuff you can do in this game is amazing. Whether it's defeating Ganon with the broom, shield sliding through a divine beast, or creating an airship out of metal boxes and magnets, the tools are in your hands as a player, and the best parts of Zelda is thinking of something that might work and then successfully pulling it off. No limits on what you can climb. It completely opens up the world in a way that makes much better open world games like Horizon Zero Dawn seem like linear corridor shooters in comparison. To top it all off, it's on the Switch, what means it can go at you anywhere, instantly creating the best portable game of all time, while at the same time reinventing the open world genre in ways that will be felt for years as other developers take what Nintendo has done and apply it to their own games going forward. The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild is 2017's Game of the Year, and its influence will be felt for years to come. Overall, it's been a great year for video games. Despite all the disappointments and the crappy news and some of the bad practices that companies like EA have employed, if you guys enjoyed my top 10 games of 2017, please like, subscribe, and check out links below to see my gameplay live. Have a great New Year's. Let me know what some of your favorite games of 2017 were in the comments, and I'll see you guys all in 2018. Be safe, be good. My name is Namtox. Thanks for watching. NTFgaming.com. See you all later.
Daughter.
Open your eyes.